10 minutes late. What else? All right. Oh. Going to get this done. All right, Worldwide Whip. E-Daddy, your angry toy guy, and tonight we're going to do a 3-pack of goodies, and we're going to talk about Battle Lion, Cringer, Battle Cat, and yes, in that order. I've gotten back from my trip to the Eternian jungles to do my research. And boy, that place sucks. All right, I can't do that damn thing. I really can't. All right, so I said, throughout time, the hero, whether it be King Grayskull or He-Man, had their majestic steed. And in He-Man / Prince Adam's case, he had Cringer as a backup. Or as a sidekick companion, whatever you want to call it. And it was great. And I've realized I've not lost anything. But anyway, so first we're going to go through and we're going to take a look at toys as we go. Try and get everybody to show up. Try to get this done before Mr. Miz does his thing over at Most Powerful Waffles. You know what? Maybe the hat worked better. Nope, not really. Missed my hat. All right, guys. So first we're going to go through and we're going to talk about the Battle Lion. Battle Lion was introduced to us in the MYP series whenever they started talking about King Grayskull. And the Battle Lion was King Grayskull's faithful steed. He is a giant green lion. He wasn't colored any other way. Carried King Grayskull into battle in Eternia's distant past. Two of his old friends that had traveled the lands of Eternia together in all those years. And the funny thing is that he was still around and no one really says or knew what happened to him after King Grayskull's death. Now, in the series, he was never given an official name. Never was. And I went back through there night pulled up the episodes, and sure enough, he was never called Battle Lion or anything like that in the series. It was the fans that went through and had named him Battle Lion. So, needless to say, basically, King Grayskull had an unnamed, oversized lion in the cartoon. So, when the 2008 canon rolled around, they officially named him Battle Lion. He was originally a prince in the Green Tiger tribe. His original name was actually Cringer. Was given to Grayskull as a gift for saving their home from guard pirates. He basically grew up to be Grayskull's, giant steed and loyal protector. He stood by Grayskull's side during the Great Wars against King Hiss and Hordak's forces. The power that Grayskull had, it basically, he could channel it through the sword and managed to enhance Battle Lion's strength and stamina. That power also enhanced his battle armor, protect him against magical attacks. Like I said, he carried King Grayskull into many battles, including the first Ultimate Battleground. Now, when the 2000X toys come out, one of the things they didn't do was they didn't give us a Battle Lion. So when Classics rolled it out, boy, we were pretty happy now. I think they could have done a little bit more with the riding harness, because to be honest with you, it does not look quite like it did in the cartoon. Now, to be honest, the riding armor they got on him looks like what they gave Battle Cat in the 2000X line. Of course, they made sure to give him the front paw protectors and the mask that is a giant pain in the ass to keep on. Halftime, I really want I'm always dying to go through and take a little bit of super glue back on there. But anyways, they went through and they knocked it out of the park on the detail and the scope. Overall, basically, this right here, take the head off, then you can actually put Battle Cat's head on here, and minus the orange striping, it's the same body as Battle Cat. I think they added more for the tail on him, but overall, they went through, they did a fantastic job with it. I really don't like the armor or the riding armor too much, and the helm here is just a pain in the ass to get to stay on. But like I said, overall, you get him like that, he just about looks like the way he did in the 2000X series. So like I said, they did a phenomenal job. I think they could have found a different way to gotten the mask to stay on. Ugh. See, look at that. I go to put him down, that mask can fly right off. Happens about every damn time I'm dealing with this thing. Three out of 5 without a doubt, because you know what? Honestly, they made him look pretty damn badass. They just could have done a few little changes here to it, to be perfectly honest. So put that real easy so his mask going to go flying off somewhere. All right. By the way, quick shout out. If anybody noticed the cover photo for tonight's video, this awesome little piece of artwork done by Mr. Roy D. Stiffy Jr. Did a fantastic job. Almost like I wanted the look of the Savage World Jason, but he made me look like the Savage World Jason with Aaron Johnson's face almost. Like the mustache wasn't quite there. But overall, I love it. Keep that with the new Angry Toy Guy binder as I go through and do my research for everything. So like I said, no canon ever went through and covered exactly what happened to Battle Lion. So I'm just going to take it as he just died of old age with Vina. So we flash forward a couple thousand years and we get Cringer. Now, Cringer was originally introduced in the 82 DC Comics. He was Prince Adam's cowardly green and yellow tiger. He could talk. His only wish was to be able to sleep by his master's side. But whenever Zor would call, he would race to the Cavern of Power so that he could become Battle Cat. After that, saw him in Filmation. His backstory is, Adam went through and he found Cringer when Cringer was injured while he was on a nature expedition in the Vine Jungle. Earned his name of Cringer until said he was a real Cringer due to his cowardly behavior. Bonded with Adam almost immediately. Later on, he did witness one of Adam's transformations into He-Man. And as He-Man tried to go through and settle a scared and frightened Cringer, bolt of power shot out of the sword, transforming him into Battle Cat. That power is only because it was bestowed upon him by the sorceress, so that way he could serve it. That way Cringer could serve at He-Man's side. Adam would go through and tease Cringer about his cowardice, and of course, Cringer would retort with quick wit. Possessed a good and courageous heart. Was not very fond of his alter ego or the process that transformed him, which we all saw multiple times in the Filmation series. He was grateful for Battle Cat, though, and understood why he was needed. He was often found spending time with Adam and Orko. Enjoyed making jokes about Orko's magic tricks gone wrong. He could track scents, could communicate with other cats, and he could roar almost as loud as Battle Cat, but the effort just wore him out. Even when he was not Battle Cat, basically the power of Grayskull protected him from harm and mental possession, which might explain why Beastman had an issue with trying to take control of Cringer. He was one of the very few animals on Eternia that actually could talk. And boy, could that cat eat. I had an extreme fondness for food, especially fish. Go figure, cat, fish. Now, they brought him in the 83 Kid Stuff records. He loved playing fetch with Adam in the royal gardens that surrounded the palace. He often underestimated his strength and had to be warned about how he used his sharp claws. When Adam would raise his sword and shout, "By the power of Grayskull," that's when Cringer would actually start his transformation into Battle Cat. Now, what I thought was interesting was that in one of the kid stuff books, Cringer was brown, even though whenever he got transformed into Battle Cat, he was, uh, he was green and orange. And I don't care what they say. And I looked at both of these. It's still orange. I don't see the yellow, and they keep referring to him being green and yellow. Now, in the 84 German audio plays, he preferred a good sleep or a nice meal to fights, was afraid of any battle, and usually tried to convince Adam not to transform, as he would simultaneously transform into Battle Cat. Did I miss a page? No, I did not. The 86 Marvel Star Comics, he would often be with Adam as they left the palace to go transform. Occasionally he'd escape, only to reappear at the end of any battle. And the alternate reality that we did talk about during the Ular, Prince Adam, He-Man 3-parter at Christmas time, he was imprisoned by Skeletor and basically positioned next to Skeletor's throne there in Castle Grayskull. We all know how it turned out. Anybody doesn't remember, go back to I'm wanting to say it was the second part there, the Prince Adam to He-Man one. So from there, we'll go to the 86 UK Comic Mags, which there he inadvertently witnessed Adam as he turned into He-Man. When He-Man tried to comfort him, Cringer told him how he wished he could be a mighty warrior. So He-Man took him to the sorceress, who bestowed He-Man with the ability to transform Cringer into Battle Cat. Now from there, we wouldn't see him till the MYP series again, which maybe it was one of the, I think the one I'm thinking of was during the, we'll cover that in Battle Cat. MYP series, he displayed, plenty of intelligence, but he actually could not speak in MYP series, and that may have been the one thing that kind of was bad about the whole MYP series, because, in every other canon, Battle Cat could speak. Get this, he couldn't. He did witness Adam's first transformation and was basically chosen to be Battle Cat. One time when Adam got captured, and I cannot remember which episode it is. It's one of the early ones. He basically Cringer disguised himself as Panther so he could deliver the power sword to Prince Adam. Once used his bite to go through and protect Adam, to which Adam commented that there's more Battle Cat in Cringer than Cringer thought. If any time Adam was in danger, he would overcome his fears and charge into danger. He had a severe dislike for Triclops Doomseekers and loved to turn those Doomseekers into chew toys. We saw that several times. Now, when the Classics canon rolled around, they said he was a small cub when a young Adam saved him from a Parak-Nar attack. Ever grateful, he became Adam's devoted companion, and he would become Battle Cat whenever Adam would combine both halves of the power sword. Now, the 2012 DC Comics gave it a little bit different than what we got with the Classics canon. So when he was a cub, his Cringer tribe was all but wiped out by a tribe of Panthers. He ran for his life and was almost killed by them, till a figure with a sword channeled power into him so he could defeat the Panthers. Later on, when he was living with the royal family in the palace, he still remained fearful of noise and people. Now, when we got the vintage line, basically, if we wanted Cringer, we had to go through and take off his harness and his helmet. There was Cringer. So, flash forward to classics coming out. Mattel decided to include with the Queen Marlena figure an actual Cringer. Now, he's pretty statuesque, except for you can get the tail to turn a little bit. You can get it turned all the way around. And you can get his head to turn a little bit from side to side. Give him that kind of weird look. But he honestly had that Filmation Cringer look, complete with the one tooth. To be honest with you, he almost looks like the 2000X one now. I look a little bit closer. But we did finally get a Cringer. Definitely smaller in size than, his alter ego Battlecat. So that was a great thing. A lot of us, if we got Orko, we got Prince Adam. So after that, we can always put Cringer next to Prince Adam. But that was definitely pretty cool. They went through and gave us that and everything. It'd been nice if they'd give him, a little moving, since they've made him so little, they'd give him, small, the bending, give us the articulation for his feet and all that. That would have been cool. Maybe where he put his head down a little bit more or something. Y'all fired out there. But still, overall, that was pretty good. Sweet, 22 minutes in, and I am still doing this alone. All right, so now for the main event, the end all for the show. Just the plan. We're going to get to Battlecat. This ain't going to be a two-parter, even though it's going to kind of feel like it. All right, so Battlecat, he was introduced into the 82 minis as a large green and yellow tiger. That is not yellow. And you're going to see it on the Battlecats here later. It's always been orange. I don't know. Looking at that does actually look yellow-ish. I'm looking here, it looks more orangish, but I'm looking at the camera, and it does kind of look more yellowish than anything. Get that later. And, he was He-Man's steed and faithful companion in his battles against Skeletor. Possessed great strength and agility along with crimson armor and helmet. Obeyed He-Man's spoken commands and was very instrumental in fending off Skeletor and his minions. Now, in the early minis, Battlecat did not speak. It wasn't until later on that he did gain the ability to talk. And there was something that would play on into the 82 DC Comics, where he also displayed a marked thirst for blood. And like I said, he could still, he did have that ability to speak. Enjoyed the thrill of battle. Complained when there was no adventures to be had. And even though he was born in the dense Eternian jungles, he had a strong dislike for those jungles. So, Filmation series that rolled around, his character was a little bit more redefined. He often did voice his pleasure of being released from his cowardly alter ego. Had a dry sense of humor, frequently joking at Orko's expense. Had a deep bond and unshakable trust with He-Man. Occasionally had to be reined in for his combat desire. And basically, I mean, you look at Filmation, notice it quite a few times, his aggressiveness, basically compensated for He-Man's moral aversion to violence. He was strong and agile. He could communicate with all animals. And he had a keen sense of smell to help him track friends or foes. And he could leap high and far. I talked, he was in the 83 Kid Stuff records. That's about all we got on Battle Cat for those. In the 84 German audio plays, once again, he loved that thrill of the fight. Longed to jump into any battle head first. His greatest wish, and boy, his greatest wish was to get old Skeletor in his teeth so he could go through and tear him apart. He was not very patient and grumpy in the mornings. That sounds like a few of my viewers and friends on Facebook. He sometimes put himself in a rage, so he would have to be calmed. They nicknamed him Old Tomcat. Carried his friends and He-Man, of course, into battle, and fought alongside the heroes without any hesitation at all. Now, and what I was thinking earlier with Cringer, and I'm glad I was right on thinking this, they did show him in the 86 newspaper strips. Now, before Adam left for Naxos, he transformed Cringer into Battle Cat. And he was left in charge to protect Eternia along with Clamp, Champ, and Ram Man. And he served as their direct contact with the Source if they ever needed her help. And there, once again, we wouldn't see him again because, he was never shown in New Adventures, but we would see him in the MYP series. And much like his cowardly counterpart, didn't speak. So there was the one downside to that cartoon. One of few that I have with it. He displayed nobility, though, by standing by He-Man's side. He could run fast, jump great distances, and leap on the backs of sandworms. He was able to recall his and Adam's youth, so it means he could remember everything that Cringer even went through as when they were younger. And he was instrumental in helping Randor rescue Queen Marlena at one point in the series. Like I said, the no speaking thing, that was like the one bad side. I mean, that was like one of Battlecat and Cringer's big things right there. I don't know, maybe it's the fact that Battle Line didn't talk either. The classics canon, and differed in some small ways in the portrayal of Battlecat. I feel like I'm missing a page or two, and I'm not. Nope. Sweet, I may get this done in under 45 minutes for a change. It was established that Battlecat first appeared when Adam united the two halves of the Power Sword. That's mean when Cringer's by his side. He did participate in the second Ultimate Battleground. During He-Man's absence on Eternia, asked Ram Man and a small band of heroes to join him on a mission into hyperspace. And even though they were there only a few days, for the way they felt and everything, it had actually been several years on Eternia. Now, the 2012 DC Comics had plenty about Cringer and all this stuff, but did not. But the book, the character compendium that Dark Horse did, does not speak of anything about Battlecat and those things. And that's the funny thing, because in all honesty, he was there. Didn't really show him speaking a whole lot, but he was there. I mean, he was even there in the prequel series to the whole thing, the 6-issue mini set. His mind also had been wiped by Skeletor, and basically Skeletor used him to be protecting the Sword of Power, keep it away from Prince Adam, which, you know, he tried to prevent, but, you know, he failed. He got some licks in on Adam, but Adam did manage to get to the Power Sword. When Adam got the sword and transformed himself into He-Man, that's when Battlecat, along with the rest of the Masters, regained their memories and everything. So that was our look at Battlecat's backstory. There ain't too many deviations in any of the canons, really, other than 2000X deciding not to have him talk. So, now the 2000X Battlecat, like I said, pretty statuesque and everything, had a little bit of articulation, but had that riding harness, you know, much like what Battle Line's got. And it's funny because, in all honesty, you take the riding harness and the helmet and the front paws off of Battle Line, and you take it and put it on the Battlecat, that classic Mattel gave us, and you basically had your 2000X Battle Line or Battlecat. Now, Binge Line, we've all heard story where Mattel had a big gym line, and they had an orange and black cat. They was trying to figure out something for He-Man to ride. They still had the molds from the big gym line, so they basically molded him green, put some greenish or some orangish yellow stripes on him. Now, some of the variant ones actually have the stripes going down the tail. Had the removable headpiece, and of course, you know, the writing can come off too. So, I mean, still pretty cool right there. Let's see, what year was this one? Oh no! Dun dun dun! '78. So, I mean, this came off the, you know, definitely off the big gym line. You know, they didn't change anything up on it. But it was pretty cool. I mean, you could always put your Vintage He-Man on there and charge him into battle. And I know, you know, they went through and they used previous mold from something else. I mean, he really did not have any articulation. And basically, you know, if you wanted Cringer, basically what you was doing is you was taking off the riding harness and the helmet, and there you go. One of those things that, in all honesty, they could have done, you know, for Cringer, but still, let's face it, do we want really Cringer looking like that all the time? So, pretty awesome on that one. Now, before I go into this next piece, since I'd already showed off the Battle Line, take off Battle Line's armament. So we can show us here in a minute. All right, so Tail went through and they gave us a Battle Cat. You know, he had the removable helmet and harness and all that. Had plenty of articulation on him. We'll go ahead and take his stuff off since we're going to be doing it here in a minute anyways. We can get a better look here. Like I said, look here. He still looks orange. Had to tail that moving, much like Battle Lion. Smaller end piece for the tail. Had plenty of movement and articulation in his legs and his paws. Neck, you go through and move it up and down to different spots and get it to where, you know, you could turn his head from side to side. Plus that, and you did have the opening mouth, so you can make him look like he was giving his ferocious roar. Now, like I said, you could take the original armor off and turn around and take the armor from Battle Lion Oh, yeah. Guess we can make him look like he hunchbacked and all that, I guess. And I said, you right there, you had your 2000X Battle Cat. Nice little throwback that Mattel did throw in there, whether they did it inadvertently or inadvertently. They did it. And it's pretty cool. In fact, they did that. You know, so if you wanted to go through and, use your snake armor He-Man, the one that looked like the 2000X He-Man, and put him on there and have him right. There you go. You had it right there. So overall, that's pretty cool. And I gotta give the shout out to Mattel on this one, because I mean, they knocked it out of the park with how they did up Battle Cat and everything. Points of articulation, nice piece. The detail, without a doubt, was nice and all that. So it was great. Plus that, you did have the legs that would turn from side to side. You didn't have it on the back too much, just at the ankles. So, man, that was pretty good right there. So, set him back over there, and Snow was like, Battle Lion he had the same thing, I guess. Like I said, you look at the exception of the headpiece, and you can tell the neck piece is in there too. Basically, let's just, all except for the head, let's reuse the Battle Cat parts. Give him a different head, we're good to go. Seemed to be Mattel's MO. Oh, sweet. You can too. Had a look and make sure Battle Lion could do it too. So, anyways. So that, I'm going to set these over off to the side. I will put him back together later. All right, there was my look and my take on my look at, like I said, Battle Cat's backstory. And not only Battle Cat, but Cringer and Battle Lion too. Honestly, not a bad turn on it. You know, I've seen him do worse. And the nice part is they didn't go through and bounce around his origin stories in like 400 different directions. So that was a nice see for a change. And for anybody asks, yes, on the Battle Cat, I will give it 5 out of 5 because they did a fantastic job on doing that. I said, you know, I had it set up to where, you know, you could you could interswitch the parts, you know, off of Battle Lion, put it on Battle Cat. You get your 2000X version. All right, that being said, I'm going to get off here. And next week, we're going to cover one of the 2 robotic horses. And I think first, because I've really been dying to do this, we're going to take a good look at Stridor, including Super 7's take on it. So until next week, everybody go through, be safe, have fun, and remember to keep on collecting so way the line or lion never dies. Till next week.